Hello, CopperCube people. So, today we're making doors, and doors are not easy in CopperCube. Um, there is no built-in extension or something like that for doors, and there are also multiple ways how you can implement them. Actually, quite a lot of different ways you can do it. I'm gonna show you the one which I prefer and which I already used for the shooter game I made last year for the game jam. And it would be that we create the mesh of the door in the modeling software. We also animate it, and then we use the invisible block in order to prevent player from walking through the door. So this video will be long, as usual, right? I mean, 1 hour of mumbling is just golden standard for me. So let's just get right into it. First of all, let's go to Blender and model something. I won't be describing this too much because I'm not a, sort of like artist or whatever. What I just did, I just removed the default cube, then I press Shift A in order to add plane. I press Tab to switch to edit mode. Then I make sure that I have this select mode set to vertices. I grab these bottom vertices, press G to move, and then I hold Control and move it here in the beginning of the x-axis. I do the same for the top one, so I have this like this, not sure what this shape is, this stripe with one face here. When I switch to face mode, select this face and extrude it by pressing I mean E on the keyboard. So now we already have a door. Maybe it's a third, lower third part of the door. And I'm pretty much now I'm just grabbing this face on top and I'm holding, once again, I'm holding control, which didn't work. So I just press JZ and I think this shape looks perfectly like a door. So for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not making like any door handles, I'm not making frame or whatever, but in case you actually care about your game or in case you want other people think you care about your game, you should probably do that. But I don't care. Everyone knows that, so um, whatever. This is just a perfect mesh which I'm going to use, and I'm also calling this door mesh. So the texture. The texture is quite special today because I actually took a photo yesterday. This is a shed door, like in the area I live, and I'm going to just crop it like that. It also took on my mobile phone camera, obviously with half megapixel, and I think this is just perfect for what I'm going to be using. Actually, if you're making a real game and you want to optimize everything, you also need to make sure this size of your texture is something like 500 by 12 by 512 and so on. So these, are how is it called? I'm not quite sure. When you have like 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, so basically you got the idea. What is the word for it? Freaking hell, English is hard. All right, never mind. So basically, texture. We just go to our shading tab up here, select our door. Oops, select our door object, door mesh. When we apply the default material, and let's rename it to door material first. When here, we press Shift A, then search, and search for image texture. Upload our image texture, and then connect base color to color. So texture is applied, but as usual, UV is messed up, so we need to fix it. We go to UV editing tab, also Z to view material preview. We switch to edit mode. This is object mode, edit mode, switch to vertices selection, and then we press U and preset. So this is almost what we want to see, but as you can see, like I have a couple of issues with that. First of all, the door is tilted because I mean my hands were shaking obviously, and I was not able to to get the perfect shot. So I need to first of all mirror one side of this uh, of this mesh of this UV. I mean, I'm doing it by selecting all the vertices on this side, and then I'm selecting everything here. I go to UV and also mirror on x-axis. And now you can see, as you can see, like the handle is on the correct side. Now what I do next, I'll just select both of these sides and I'll try to fix the geometry a bit so it's not that, that annoying. Same, go here, press A, and let's just move these coordinates where they should belong. So basically like that probably, like that. And oops, the last one, like that, I think, something like that. So that way we have this like sort of okayish door. Probably I would also just select this, select that, and this one, that one, and maybe just move it a bit here so there is no this, I don't know the word for it, this thing. So it's not on the texture. And also we can fix maybe the side size, but to be honest, it looks okay here. So maybe it shouldn't be fixed. So yeah, that's perfect. But in case you see that, so here it looks like it's just the wooden texture also, even though this thing is just uncompressed version of the whole, I mean compressed version of the whole of the whole texture. But in case it looks bad for you, you can just make something like that. So just have like a short strip. But in my case, it just looks okay, so I'm not touching it. Basically, yes, this is the model, and I think it's fine, I guess. So next thing which we need to do, we need to add an armature and actually animate it. So first of all, what we're going to do, we go to layout, once again, just add material, or let's go to modeling there, a bit more space here. And first of all, let's just add an armature. So make sure you're in object mode, press Shift A, then add armature, and it will add you this like root bone, which we will leave as a root bone. So we have like the initial position of the door here, not initial, I mean pivot point. So also not the pivot point, center point, whatever. So basically it's needed here in order to be presented in CopperCube properly. So we select the bone, press Tab in order to edit to enter edit mode, press E to extrude, Z to extrude on Z-axis, we extrude the bone. We select this just extruded bone, go to bone menu, here in relations we remove connected and move the bone there it should be. So somewhere here probably. Yep. Yeah. Now let's just press R to rotate, Y to rotate on Y-axis, and 90 in order to rotate on in 90-degree. We can also just maybe, oops, nope, just maybe make this bone a bit bigger, and let's just move it in position, something like that. So yeah, so it's somewhere like in the middle of the door, and also this like sphere here, it's in the middle of in the middle of this like left border. So now we need to attach door mesh to this bone. First of all, let's just rename the bones which we just created. So go to armature, here bone, we will rename it to root. And the second one, I'll just name it door because it's the only bone which we basically will use. We select the mesh. When we shift select armature, press Ctrl P on keyboard and set paired armature deform with empty groups. Now select door, press Tab in order to edit to enter edit mode, A to select all vertices, go to vertices menu, and here you have two vertex groups. First one is corresponds is attached, sort of attached to this root bone, and second one is attached to this like door bone which we use. So we select all vertices, and now we just assign these vertices to this bone. And now if we just go to pose mode, oh no, it doesn't work like that. If we just select our armature and go to pose mode, if we rotate this bone somehow, so for example like that, you can see that door mesh also rotates along with the bone. And the cool thing about that, so why I actually enjoy this approach, because you can do a lot of different doors. You can make a lot of different doors, um, and use the same script for all of them. Because if, for example, I need another kind of animation, like let's say I want a sliding door, I can do animation like that, or I can have like can have two meshes with two bones, and they both like go just sideways. And rotating doors, whatever, like everything is possible, and you only need one script for that, which is a cool thing. So I prefer it much more than, like for example, going to CopperCube and trying to set up some stuff like rotation on, behavior, let's say, triggered by event, with a key press and then on action you just try to like change position or rotate or whatever, and also there are a lot of issues with collisions and so on. So this is so my approach I prefer more because of that, so I don't have um, to basically deal with all these manipulations, and also I have one script to rule them all. I mean, to use with all kind of doors. So this is it. I think. Oh no, 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 no. Obviously, it's not it. We need to add animation. Yes. So we need only two animations. First of all, we need open and we need close animation. I'm gonna make it as actions. So we go here, select dope sheet, select action editor, and let's just create a new action. Let's call it open. So, and also let's create another one. Should we? No, but we can do it later. How do I create another one? I can only copy. Okay. So we select bone, we enter the pulse mode, and now we just select all bones, press I in order to insert the keyframe, and then I select location, rotation, and scale. Even though for this exactly purpose, probably you can only go with just rotation because you're only applying rotation. When we select this bone, let's just move the cursor somewhere here around 40 maybe. We press R, we press Z in order to rotate on Z axis. And now we just rotate it there. It should be probably something like that maybe will do. So now we'll once again select both bones, press I, interlocation, rotation. So that way we have this like really simple animation which we can use. Also, if, for example, you're making something more complex, like, for example, you made this, how is it called? I mean, door handle, doorknob here or something. You can also animate rotation of the doorknob the same way. You can just create another mesh. So I have this like door mesh here, but you can create, let's say, like a handle mesh and also rotate this. So it's pretty easy, pretty simple way to animate. Pretty rough, I think, but I mean, whatever, it works. We're not here for animation, right? We're here for actually making functionality work. Now let's clone this section. Oh, it's create new action. Okay, or is it cloning? It's actually cloned the action anyway. I don't know. I'm not good in Blender. And what we do, we just swap these two like that. So now we will have the close animation. Actually, with open and close animation, you can also go with, setting up negative FPS amount in CopperCube itself, but I found it pretty inconvenient in some scenarios because sometimes it just setting this animation just doesn't really work. So if I have an option to make the animation here in Blender, it's just easier to make it in Blender, make it separate actions, and then just use it in CopperCube as it is. So we have everything saved now. I believe we have everything saved. So let's just export. So we go File, Export, Export as FBX, and we only need armature and mesh. And here we'll also disable apply units because for some reason I think I have some sort of like weird units selected in CopperCube, like maybe centimeters or something like that. And for that reason, I'm disabling it in order for the model just to be a little bit bigger. because when I imported to CopperCube, it's just really small. This is some sort of issue I need to figure out, but I'm too lazy to do that. So this is our CopperCube scene, and navigation is different from Blender, so I will lag a bit. Let's create a very basic scene. So we'll put this mesh, we'll call it ground. Why I'm renaming it, I don't know. I usually don't do that. Let's put it in 0 coordinates. Let uh, what? Okay, doesn't matter. Just glitching. Let's just add camera, first person shooter camera, and also put it in 0 position like that. Put it right here, maybe. Where does it look? Let's just, oops, make it look somewhere here, maybe. So now if you save and run, everything runs. That, all right. Let's just import our door mesh. So we go to door. As you can see, it seems to be working. Top and close and so on. Let's just rename it to door/0 because we might have multiple doors in the project. And let's apply the texture first. So we go and take our material, apply it here, and it looks okay. Let's just also set it to 0 position as usual. Let's move it here, for example. And I think it's too small, so we should scale it a bit. I think it usually it's something like 8 for me. And now let's edit the animation a bit. First of all, we need to get rid of this armature prefix here because I mean it's not really what I want here. And also I need another animation. This one will be sort of like a temporary. I need a closed animation. So by default, doors in my game will be closed. So I'm just making this animation and it will have only one frame, so frame 0. So now let's pick the door, let's go to attributes and set this animation to close. Why does it look like that? Oh, I know it's some sort of glitch. So open and then choose closed. Nope, also doesn't work. Let's just do like from frame 1 to frame 1. Probably it's just because I select only frame 1. I set it from frame 1 there. Let's see if it works better. Nope, it also doesn't. That's weird. That's actually weird. Let's see, maybe it's weird because should should be closed completely. Maybe we should have added this in Blender. This is the new one because to be honest, I never faced this one before. So usually it works. It works okay. Close, close. So what happens in case I'm just in the game? Oh, it's also tilted. That's weird thing. What's a weird thing that happens? Okay, so from 0 to 1, open. Oh no, open. Okay. So no, it's because we need not 0. Okay, it's just because we're using closed animation. So we need. I thought uh, the open animation will be first, but actually it's the closed animation which is first. So I'm taking the first frame of closed animation instead of open. Okay, this is just me being stupid. It's something that happens regularly. So we need the first frame of closed animation, and this door is too big. We need to scale it down. So let's just do 7 maybe. It's still too big. Let's do 6. So now we're talking. Now it looks more like it. Maybe even like 5.5. And when we'll scale it back probably because we won't be able to pass through it. But now the size is correct, almost I think correct. It might be a little bit smaller still, but I mean overall I think it's okay. So let's also add some sort of like frame which will limit the player movement. So okay. Let's just add a cube. Where is it? It is here. Let's maybe do it like take a position of our door, take a cube, put it in position. Let's just scale it a bit. Scale, so we just make it like that, and scale it up. And now let's just put it into position. So I just so wish it was like in Blender. So you press G and it works, but it is not like in Blender, obviously. And now just put it like that. Let's clone this mesh and put another mesh on the other side of the door, like maybe that. I don't know. So basically, you got the idea. I'm just creating some sort of basic like frame for it, and I also make sure that the player can pass through. Can I pass through? Yes, it's the issue. So we need the door to be a little bit bigger, even though it looks oh, okay, or we can make the collider smaller, actually. So we have collider like size 6. Ah, okay, and it's because the door is 5 point. So let's just make maybe collider size 4, something like that. So it's thinner. It's like the same issue they had in Outlast, and they just um, shrink the collider every time you touch the door, actually, in this game. So this is a fun thing, fun fact about Outlast. So now we can pass through it, and let's just add maybe like the top of the door. So on this one, select that. Oops. Move it right here. Let's just also scale it down. This is also not the right way how you do it. You understand it, right? So the correct way is to probably model this in the modeling software, but since the topic of this video is doors, we're not making frames or something, we just make door and put it right there. And also let's just move it a bit on the z-axis so we don't have this annoying glitch. So now we can go through the door, and maybe we should move it a bit that way so the animation doesn't look that bad. Let's see how the animation actually looks. So if we have an open animation, I also tired of moving stuff. Here, we also don't want the animation to be looped, so let's just disable looping here. So once it opens, and it will open like that. So it looks pretty okay. So the setup looks pretty okay for now. So at this point, let's change animation back to closed. So at this point, we have the scene setup. I think almost. We will need to do some adjustments later, but now let's. No, we haven't. We haven't. We haven't. We haven't. We haven't. I forgot the most important thing. So currently, as you might see, we still can go through the door, and this is because there's no collision with. Okay, and also the top is uh, stop thing. I'm also touching, but I mean, whatever. So the issue is because you can't collide with animated objects in CopperCube. That's the big thing, and I don't think there's a way to work around it, but we will. So we're going to use another block like that in order to prevent player from going through the door. So let's just scale it properly, something like uh, like that will do probably. We don't need it to be precisely like door. It can overflow, it can hide it completely, but I think that will do. And we're going to make this block invisible. The simplest way to make this block invisible, let's also call it like door 0 block, because it will block door with index 0 for us. So the simplest way is to just untoggle this visible button, and you still can't go through the door because collision is still there. But this is not the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the completely black material. So in Paint.net, I just created this 16 by 16 a little PNG, and I applied completely black color to it. And now if I just import this material into CopperCube and apply it to the door block like that, and then I select transparent depth, as you can see, the block is completely transparent and I'm still not able to pass through it. But why am I doing it like that? So in case, for example, you make it not completely black color, let's say maybe that sort of green with half with opacity like halved. So it's semi-transparent. If you just reload this material, you can sort of see like this blocks texture, and this is really useful while developing, while debugging. So that way you can at least understand where your invisible barriers are. So this is the technique which I prefer. So as soon as I need like it to be ready for release, I can just uh, return the black cover back and re-import the material, and everything should work. It will be replaced in all instances of the doors where they have it. So let's also maybe, I don't know, maybe let's actually make this collider a bit smaller, should we? Like 10, and then just change relative position to 5. So it's the same height, but it's the collider itself is lower. Let's just see if it works. Like, oops, door block. Because it's quite annoying. I'm hitting like the, yeah, now it's easy. It's easier to pass. Okay, let's get this block back. So now we have almost everything we need. There will be only one addition to that, and we will do it later. So now let's go to coding. First of all, I'm creating another extension. I'm on my extension folders. Here we'll call it door handler. And I will replace it like that. So everything is named door handler now. I will add a new description, which is also will be door handler. And in this one, we actually need a couple of props. This is another thing which I forgot. We will create two folders also. So the one will be doors folder, and we will put all our doors objects there. And we will also have like door blocks folder, and we will put all our blocks there. And I guess the naming is understandable, right? So door 0, there is a block for it with corresponding name door 0 block. So if I have door 1, it will be door 1 block. So it's that way it's more convenient to organize, the structure, and more convenient to find these blocks in the code. So first of all, let's just add doors folder here, and it will be a scene node. Default will be nothing, and door blocks folder, it also will be a scene node. So there will be two properties. First of all, we need the first thing which we need to do, we need, in order to optimize stuff a lot, we don't want to search for these doors every time and get their positions and so on, since the doors will be static. I mean, in terms they don't move along the map, they don't around the player, unless it's, some sort of like a mimic game or whatever is popular right now. But in general, they just stay where we are. So we will get a lot of information regarding these doors, like for example, uh, door door node itself, its position, block node, block's position, and also we will need what else we need? We need probably a state of the door. So if it's closed or is it open, so we can vary behavior based on that. And one other thing, we will add a timer which will make the door not interactable until the animation finishes. There are also a couple of ways how you can handle it. This behavior when the player, for example, starts spamming E on the keyboard, so door closes, opens all the time. But I will just prevent it by actually, making it impossible to interact with the door unless it's completely open or completely closed. If you want the player to be able to interact in that way with spamming, you can probably use the new API provided in the last CopperCube update. There you can get animation frame and set animation frame. So you can just set, corresponding frame. But I mean, I'm not doing it. It's just too much work, and I don't think it's beneficial for the game anyway. So I'm just doing it in the simplest way I can think of. So first of all, as I mentioned, we need to store information about doors. So let's just create doors array, And here in our on animate behavior, I have this first condition, then last time is not set. So basically, this would be like our initialization. It will only run on the first frame and then it never run again. So we set up the last time here. And here in this if block, we're going to get the data regarding all doors in our project. So first of all, we're going to get child count for our doors folder node. So it will be doors count. Basically, we're taking this node here, doors, and we calculate how many doors, actual door nodes we have under it. So basically, what we do next, we just iterate through them. So I equals 0, I less than doors count, I plus plus, just usual stuff, and var door equals get sin child. How is it sin child? Nope, not child. Get child node. Get child sin node. Yeah, and we will push our this doors folder there, and also I. So that way we will just get first child, second child, whatever child of this folder. Basically, we'll just iterate through the whole list of our door nodes. And now let's think about what we actually need to have. First of all, we need, in order to optimize all this stuff. So I didn't talk, I wasn't talking about how we actually going to, interact with the doors yet, but in order to optimize this, just so for now, let's just say let's put it that way. So to optimize everything, we need to store door position. So we will get the position. Scene node property, and it will be door, and when it will be position. And what else do we need? We need to find the corresponding block. So we will need to have a door name in order to do so, because as you remember, our blocks are named the same way as door, but we also add down underline block postfix. So basically, if you want to have a door block, let's just call this not door. Let's just call this door node in order to let's be better at naming door name. So this will be door node here, door node here. So door block will be get scene node from name. It will be door name plus underscore block, right? I think so. And we also need to store the block position. So we will do the same as we done here, but we will say that this is door block position, and we will put our door block here, not door node. So now we have all the doors of the positions, all the stuff, and so on. We need to put this to our doors array now. So we just do doors push, and then we put an object there. An object will contain our door node, which is door node. I so hate this is 5 syntax that you don't when you have to just double. Do we need to store name? I don't think so. Yeah, let's why not? I know we will use it later. We should use it later, so let's just store it all once again. So it will be door name, because if the video is not long, probably we can also try to implement some sort of keys or whatever. So we can do some simple way of making keys or but if we have time, obviously. Door block, and we will save the door block position, which is also door block position, and we also need is closed property, I think, which will be true by default, because by default all the doors are closed for me. But if it is not, if there are some doors in your games which are locked, oh, not locked, I mean which are open. So in this case, you will figure it out. probably it's possible, to make like, let's say, make like a preference. So it's like C door, and then you parse the whole name. And if it's C, it's closed. If it's O, it's open. But we are not doing that. We're just doing all doors closed by default. And another thing which I also mentioned, I believe, is we will just make next interactive time. I'm not sure if interactive is correct word, but you get the idea. So basically, as soon if this time is not reached yet, it means that door is not interactive, and whatever you do, you can press E so many times as you want, you still can't interact with it because it's just opens or it closes, so the action is still going. Um, Alrighty. So what's next? What's next? First of all, let's just maybe add this extension to our project and make sure there are no errors or something like that, so everything is verified. I'm also going to rename camera to player and go to behavior, add scripted behavior. We will have door handler here. Let's just set up the door folder node, which is this one. Let's just set up door blocks node, which is that one. And now we save and we don't see any errors, so I presume everything is working okay. So first of all, how do we open the door? So what would be the approach? It's pretty basic. You get near the door, you look into it, and as soon as you look into it, you can press E on the keyboard and the door presses. What happens in the game, basically, this green thing, this green block, it just moves somewhere and the door open animation plays. That's that easy, right? And the other thing, like if you close the door, the opposite happens. So the block just moves once again in its original position and close animation plays. Easy. As I mentioned, that way you can make all kind of doors. So if it was a sliding door, there's no difference. It's just pretty much the same script, pretty much the same approach. It's like rotating door, whatever, it's the same approach. It's the door which slides top, it's the same approach. So that's pretty cool about it, I think. Let's just now, so first of all, let's set the message, little message here, little hood message. So let's just move it somewhere here. And also I will say it like, I will name it HUD door message. And let's scale it a bit so it's not that ugly. It will be ugly anyway, so whatever. We will remove background. Let's just maybe draw text. Press E, oops, E to interact. We also can change this text, like to press C to open, press C to close, but I'll just press C to interact in order for me not to change this. Let's make it a bit bigger, maybe. Yeah, awesome. Like that. Interact. Is it the word? I don't know. It seems like. So let's just hit it by default, and we will hit it also every frame, but let's not hurry. So we need to reference it in our script first of all. So it's just door message. I will call it door message just for it to be really short. Send node from name, and here we will have full door message. So what we also going to do on every frame, we will identify if we need to show this message or not. So for that purpose, here I will set variable which is show door door message, and by default that will be false. So when should we actually show the message? First of all, you need to be close enough to the door, right? So maybe like that, or like we will figure out the distance. And second, you need to look into it. So you need to look to the door, you need to look to the mesh. And first one is pretty simple. We will just make the distance check to the door from the player position. And in case it's less than some value, we will assume that the player stays near the door. And for the second one, we're going to be using raycasting. And for that, we also need to update our our player repeat. So how will we raycast? And what is raycasting? Basically, raycasting is we're just making an array which goes like that, for example, to that position. And if there is some object between starting point and end point, it will say that we are colliding with this object. Uh, there are multiple ways how you can sort of like identify where this. So the target of raycast will be, because obviously like the starting point will be our player position and the target will be somewhere there the player looks. And to me the simplest way is to just create maybe a sphere. Let's just make it so you can just create a dummy sphere, but for the purpose of showing it, I will create a sphere with some polygons. I don't think it's a big deal anyway, and we will just call it, we remove collision and occlude slide, which is important, especially collision, and we will call it player raycast target. Oops, target, and let's just put it into 0, 0, 0 position. And what we do next, we just move it on z axis, something like that. So now every time you are somewhere, you just look into this, into this sphere. As you can see, it's a bit close, so we just put it a little bit further. So now if we go through the door, why is it? I'm not sure what is happening because it's pretty, okay. All right, I see. It's because we have this like disable clipping here. Let's just disable clipping. We can enable it later, but once again, for the purpose of demo, I'm just disabling it. So if you go through, through this model, you can see that the sphere becomes, so the sphere now is located behind the door. So raycasting from camera position to this sphere, in case there's a door in that, in that interval, if there is a door between them. In this case, raycasting will say us that everything is fine, it's true, and so you are looking into the door. So let's just implement this really quick and then talk later, because I mean, once again, it's already 40 minutes and I would really like to keep it at least hour long, maybe a little bit more, but hour will be pretty good. So first of all, we have stored all the information. Now, let's just iterate through the doors array. So I equals 0, I less than this doors length, I plus plus, because we need to check distance for every door in the scene. No way around. And let's say, so we already know door position, so let's just do like this. So our door is equals to this doors I for the simplicity. And here, let's just check distance to door. It will be our player position, which you actually didn't get. Let's just get it here. So I will just call it pose. Get scene node property node. We get it from here, from the function signature, because it's this behavior is attached to our player. I mean, that's an easy way to get the player node. So basically, we have it right here. And now we'll do position subtract. We will take door door node, because this is the node, and then we will get the length. Basically, all of these are methods of this vector. So there is like subtract method, there is get length. This is built into CopperCube. So now let's identify what kind of distance do we actually need. So let's just print it out for now, and we only have one door, so it shouldn't be. Oh, it's 9. Whew, that's great. Position. So position subtract door node. Why is it node? It's door poles, obviously. It's position what we should subtract, not the node itself. So let's say if we are maybe under 20, under 20, to 25, to 23. So if you're like under 23 units from the door, then we'll say that we're close enough in order to be able um, to start raycasting and see if we're actually looking into the door. So if it's less than 23, then we can raycast. So basically we do, how is it called? It's not this one. So collide something, it should be. Where does it come from? I think I thought I have everything closed. CB collide. Do I have from opened? Oh yes, I do. CB collide. Nope. Oh freaking hell! I can't remember what the function is called. Get collision. Line collides with bounding box of scene node, which is what we need. So we need to specify the scene node, and here we have like our door node, and then we will have to input start and end coordinates. And for start coordinates, it's once again, it's obvious, it's our player position y, and also pose z. And for the target position, we need the position of our like this player raycast target. So we just reference it here, call it raycast target, and it will be gets in node from name, and it will be like that. So this raycast target, we need to get its position, but we only will get this position in case we're looking into the door. So here target pose would be gets in node property. It will be this raycast target, and we will have position here. And we do pretty much the same. So basically we just say target position X, target position Y, and target position Z. And it seems to be, it should, I think, work. So here we will say that show door message would be equal to this value. So if the player looks into the door, in that case, the show door message should be set to true. And the last thing here, we will just set scene node property for this one, for door message. So it will be this door message visible, and it will be equal to show door message. So if it's true, the door message should be shown. And if you look into the door, nothing happens, because as usually something is messed up. So let's just see if we are. So position X, position X. Okay. It's because of me being stupid. So we need an absolute position, obviously, because it's a child. So now it should work. Yes. So if we're looking into the door and we close enough, as you can see, we got this. Press E to interact. Yeah, works both ways, forward and I also don't know if we can just, probably it's also will be a little bit laggy because you sometimes can interact through the doors, I think, that way. But yeah, I mean that might be the issue, but you can also fix it by making like the doors more thin or making a raycast. So there are multiple ways how you can avoid it, or you can just say if it's colliding with the bounding box of something, but I don't know if you can do that. But I mean, whatever. It's not the point right now, because I mean it's a common issue for all the methods which you can use if you using this collision thing. So, all right. Next. So at this point, we are able to identify if we need to show the message, but we also need to specify something like the door with which we can interact. So this door to interact, I will just create another property, and by default it will be set to null, which means there is no doors with which a player can interact at the moment. But in case we show in this message, it's obvious that door to interact will be just the door we're looking to. And also here at this point, we also can make a break in order to quit this for loop. It's once again for the optimization, because that way you don't have to keep interacting through the whole list. Since I think if you look into one door, you won't be able to like interact with another one. It doesn't seem like you can have like them in a way you can interact with two at the same time. Anyway, this is not something we support because we only have like this one property. And we also need to nullify this property. So here under this under show door message, we will also say this door to interact, and we will say that to null. So every frame we will nullify it, and if there is a door to interact, we will assign this. So now let's go to our key event here, and we add a single event. So if key equals to 69, which is code for E on the keyboard, so it's E key, and if it's pressed, not released, in this case, also if this door to interact, if there is door to interact, if all these three of these conditions are true, in this case, we can probably just run another function which we'll call interact with door, and we'll just simply call it from here. Yeah. So oh, the syntax is not correct, so it will be function like that. So here, what do we need here actually? We don't need no properties, I think, and we need to first identify like what if door closed or if door is opened, right? So this is the very first thing. So if this door to interact, have I called it, is closed, in this case we need to open it. So basically open. In case it's not, we need to close it. Also, there are a couple of conditions which we need to add, but we will add them later when we get there. So in order to open the door, what we need to do? First of all, we need to play open animation, right? So it will be simple. We just set scene node property, and then we say this door to interact door node, and when we'll say animation, and we'll play open animation. And the very second thing is it the thing, we need to take this door block and move it somewhere. So we will just say move something without collision. It called set node position without collision, and we set this door to interact door block node. Is it called door block? Just door block. We will set it into somewhere like 0 minus 1000 0, so it's not there anymore. So now if and also the thing which we need to do, we need to say that this door to interact is closed is now open. Oh, it's now true. It's not false. Is now open. Is closed is now open. So now it's false. So the door is actually open now. So if we try to do that, if we press E, the door is opened and we can go through it. And still, we can, if you look into it, we can interact with the door. So that's okay. So opening is done. Now to the closing part. Close is pretty much the same. So we just set animation to close. We set door position blocked where it was before. So we set this door to interact block door block position X, and we will just copy that. So it will be Y and Z like that. I think it should work. And we also set this property from false to true back to true. So now if we try to open the door opens. If you try to close it, it's closed and you can't go through, basically, once again. It's so it's a bit messy because not messy, I mean it's a bit weird because even though you pressed it, as soon as you press it, you can go through the door. And you also can, this is also fixable, so you can sort of remove the block not instantly, but in a couple of, so for example, in a couple of milliseconds or so. We can also do that, I think, but we will not because it is good as it is. Or should we? No, I'm just, to be honest, it's an hour. So basically, we can use, we can write a set timeout function, which I can probably just show you how I can implement. So you have the idea if you want to implement it yourself. So basically, this is the set timeout function. Where is it? Oh, let's just look for it like function set timeout. Like that. I use it in a lot of my projects. So basically I have a list of timers and then I have a function which adds a timer for something. So this is the function. And that way you can um, make some actions to be executed later. I will put it right there and I will comment it. Then you will have the code if you want to use it in order to shift this, oh, whatever, let's just do it. So let's just add it in the beginning so it's initialized. And so what we need to do, we need to delay this thing, this interaction stuff. So um, we are setting timeout, set timeout. We will pass a function there. This function need to have, in our case, it's need to have only one argument, which is door to interact. And inside the body, oops, it will just do that. And we will have door to interact here. And here I'm going to pass the time, which is, so how long is our animation actually? It is open, so it's like, I can't calculate that. So it has like, oh, this number, that number divided by 300, it's 1.5 seconds almost. So we just put maybe 100 here. And also as an argument, we will put this door to interact here. And we will do, let's just see if it works. So as you can see now, it's not removed immediately. And let's just do the same for the close. So I just put it right there. And then here we should do like, we should get rid of this because it's not this anymore. It's also a little bit, so this is how I pass the arguments. There's a bit of like an advanced topic because we also need to pass the context. But as you can see now, even if the thing is, you can still spam this thing, and it might be that, I don't know, is it okay actually? Because it seems to work fine. Maybe, maybe, maybe we actually don't need to care that much about spamming. You know what? I think we shouldn't care too much about spamming the door because it's okay. It actually, yeah, I thought it would be worse, but you can just spam it, and in case you spam it too fast, even if you spam it too fast, what happens if, for example, I just stand here and I just start spamming? Okay, nothing happens basically. Okay, now I'm stuck inside the door. Yeah, this is something that might happen. But I mean, this is something that might happen even if I just push it and I just stand in correct position, right? So like there, and I'm just stuck inside the. But once again, it's a player who's dumb enough to do that. Anyway, when in this case, I thought we will need this. So, but to be honest, we simply don't need this property. I'm not using it. So player can mess up with the door if they want, but it still will work. So it still will close and will open and they still can go through. So nice. The door is done. I still have, so my headphones say that I need to recharge the battery, but I think I still have maybe some time. So let's just think about how we can add keys really quick. And for the key, I'm going to, since I don't have time to model it really, I'm going to use maybe a sphere with, I don't know, radius 1 and some poly count, whatever. It's not about optimization right now. And let's just put it somewhere. So right here, let's say, and is it what's its position? So this will be our key if you didn't get it. It will be our key, and we will call this key like door 0 dash slash key. So now, okay, let's just do it without coding this time. So what is the idea? Basically, we will add another condition here. So we will only be able to open the door in case the door is open. So um, we will introduce another variable which will be called, let's say, um, door closed for opened by default. Okay, so we will add another check here. So for example, if we have the door which is called door 0 like that, we will going to get the variable which is named door 1 closed. And in case it's set to 1 or it's set to true, in that case, we are not allowing to interact with the door, right? And we also can maybe change no, we're not changing anything, but basically you should also maybe show another message. And since we already have this set timeout function, it's not that hard. You just show it and then you remove it after the timeout. But so we need to check this variable. So if get CopperCube variable, and we will get the variable like this door to interact door name. I think we have that door name, right? We have it. And plus closed. So in case this variable is true, if it's equals to 1, so basically we can just do it like that, I think. Or do we need to do it like that? I don't know. Let's just see if it works. If it closed, when in this case we just do nothing, we just return. So it's not possible to interact. You can also play sound, or for now we just, the door is closed, we just print it. And let's just set up this variable really quick so we can see if it's closed. And this is something that you also can do. So we just set up all the closed doors, set CopperCube variable, and it will be called door dot 0 dot closed. And then it will be like, what it will be true. It won't work. Let's just say it's 1. So now, in case we try to interact with the door, it should be closed, right? So if the door is closed and you're not able to interact. Now, if we change this variable value to 0, and if we get to the door, we now able to interact with it once again. So basically, our goal is then if we can up the key, this one, the key out there, is basically to just it's too small. It's just to change the variable value. I'm not sure if I will be able to do it without coding, but let's just try. So we will add behavior on proximity, do something. So area, what other do we have boxes here? Recording the current active camera. We will just set that this is probably we could just leave the one. So the one which we had by default, so inters radius, and here we will say variables and text, set to change variable. Variable name will be our door 0 dot closed. We will set this value to 0 now, so it's not closed anymore. And the second thing which we need to do we will remove the node. Is it possible to remove the node from itself? I don't know. Let's just check. Hide on hide. We can just hide it actually because behavior won't be executed anymore. So if I'm not able to find it where I remove the nodes, I'm not using these default behaviors too much, to be honest. Select, we will say door key node, so it will just remove itself. We'll see if it works. If it's crashes, CopperCube will just. So now door is closed. We're not able to interact with it. We took the key, and now the door is still closed because what? Hmm. Okay. Let's just print our variable there here because I'm not that familiar with with how um, behaviors work in default built-in behaviors or work on CopperCube. Unfortunately, I started to use code from the beginning. Probably I'm missing a lot because of that. So now it's 1, but if we take the key, we took it, it is 0, but the door is still closed. And then in this case, we can just do like, okay, because it sets the string value. So we need to, so basically this 0 on the typecast, it will be true. This on the typecast will be false because this is how JavaScript works. But it sets it to string, so it should work like that, I think. So now if you just pick up the key and we just try to open the door, no, it still doesn't work. Let's just remove the strict comparison here. That's super weird. No, it still doesn't work. um, I didn't get it. So we get CopperCube variable when it's equals to 0, not equals to 0. It should be not equal to 0. I just messed up the condition. So now if we interact with it, it's closed. But if we pick the key and open it, yes, now it works finally. Oh my God. And what happens if I am making it strict? It should be string. So that should have been the issue. So now we just interact with set1, door is closed, and we interact with it again. The door is open. Yes, because it's a string. It just sets it to the string. So once again, the video is more than an hour long, and this is how I usually make doors. And also for raycast target, you can also disable its visibility, and it doesn't work anymore. All right. So for that, we can just set scale to 0, I guess. And now it works. Yeah, door is closed. We pick up the key, and now the door is opened. Pretty basic approach, but I'm glad we went through the whole thing. It was quite a long video. Once again, thank you for watching. If you got to this point, I don't think anyone got there, but I mean, whatever. So see you next time.